Everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, 4 tips to call FSBOs and expireds with success. Don't be weird about it, with MAPS coach Anna Krueger. Please note this meeting is being recorded and will be available within 24 hours on the MAPS YouTube channel. We will share the link in the chat momentarily. Currently, everyone's on mute. However, if you do have any questions for Anna, please type them into the chat box below. Following the meeting, if you have any questions about today's call or our other coaching programs, please email us at fasttrack.com, fasttrack@kw.com. And that's all for me, Anna. Please take it away.
All right, welcome everyone. Well, great to have you. We have a great crowd on here today, so we're glad to have you. Make sure you have pen and paper because we're going to move very fast and you're going to want to take notes. And the first thing I just want to say, those of you that are in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, please stay safe. I see some Charleston friends on here, so please stay safe. In that vein, we're having some wind gusts here. I'm in South Carolina, so if I drop off, everybody come right back and I'll hop on a hotspot. We might lose power or internet just from the wind gusts. Cool? All right, so let's jump in and we're gonna move pretty quickly today. So grab something to take notes with. And the goal for today is to help you learn how to convert expired and for sale by owner leads at a higher level. How many of you are seeing more of these leads in your area? Tell me in the chat box. So I'm curious, what are your expired amounts popping in per day? You know, just fill me in a bit on what you're seeing in your market when it relates to expireds. The first thing I want to say is I am thrilled that the market has shifted. And let me tell you why. When I first got into real estate, there were an abundance of for sale by owners and expired listings that knew they needed help. We haven't seen those the last couple of years, have we? Because they could list a house and get it sold really on their own. You could list a house and not take great pictures and list it and you'd have people fighting over it, right? That's the market of the last few years. So I just want to encourage those of you that might be new to real estate or perhaps haven't experienced a market shift before. I actually have been waiting for this and I'm excited about it because it's gonna be so much more opportunity to find listings. Here's the thing that we need to know is if you do not practice this, you're going to get left in the dust. This is the type of market that is really beneficial to those that are putting in the work, they're making the contacts, and they're working on their language patterns and dialogues. So make sure that that is something that you are doing. The language patterns I'm gonna give you today, when I used them, I found that I was converting 1 out of 3 for sale by owners for an appointment. Not, hey, let me just come look at your house and see if it's a good fit. They actually knew 1 out of 3, I'm meeting with you to see if you should list my house, or in my case, my team should list the house. I was an inside sales agent. Does that sound good to everyone? 1 out of 3. I would say on the low end, it was 1 out of 8. So 1 out of 3 to 8 for sale by owners would convert into an appointment. And then for expireds, it was similar. I found maximum 10. I just knew if I actually get 10 expireds to pick up the phone, I'll have at least 1 appointment. So that's what I want for you guys. Most other lead sources convert anywhere from 2 to 5%. Expired and FSBO to me are where the money's at and it's where the opportunity is. So today we're going to talk through how you can convert those leads. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with expireds. And that's because a lot of for sale by owners are former expireds. We just know this from history, calling them before. Anybody else? I'm actually curious from the audience here, how many of you are new to real estate since, I would say, 2019? So new to real estate since 2019. Let me know in the chat box. Someone typed in, raised hand. That was great. Okay, it looks like quite a few of you. So this is going to be new territory, and I'm actually quite excited about that for you. So let's first start with expireds. Again, most for sale by owners you're going to learn used to be expired. They used to be expireds. So I'm just going to jump right in pretty quick. What we find sometimes works with expireds is to call them and very quickly say, when are you going to hire the right person to be your agent? And that will work enough that it will have the perception that it is working very well. Do you see what I'm saying? Sometimes we do something and it works 5 out of 10 times. And so we think it's a really good language pattern or a really good script. What we found is when we started instead calling someone, and it sounded like this, so jot down this order. I might call and say, hey, Jessica, this is Anna, calling from the Haro Group, Keller Williams. Thank you so much for taking my call today. And I'm calling you because I saw your house just came off the market. Is that correct? And I'll give you these steps in just a minute. Normally, we want to avoid a yes or no question in the opener. If you've ever taken a class with me, I see several of you in here from class. You know, I'm very big on do not ask a closed-ended yes or no question when you're opening up a call, or really hardly ever. But in this case, though, we do want to, because we do not want to be calling someone who is actually listed with an agent and we have wrong information, right? And so to protect you, we are going to ask a closed question early in the opener. So let me do that again, and I'm going to slow it down so you can write down the steps, and then we're going to talk about how do you jump into the conversation. So you're going to say their name and your name. So, hey, Jessica, this is Anna, calling from the Haro Group, Keller Williams. So identify where you're calling from. So their name, your name, identify where you're calling from, and then very quickly say, thank you for taking my call. Now, a lot of you here have taken class with me, Mastering Inside Sales. So let's have you not answer. Someone who has not taken class, why do you think we would very quickly say, thank you so much for taking my call today? What's the psychology there? And you can either use the chat box or you can unmute yourself. I feel like Kelly's about to say something. She did, she typed it in. Yeah, it takes their guard down. It takes their guard down. It's unexpected. Most people do not call and say, thank you so much for taking my call today, right? The other thing is, if I say, thank you for taking my call, it's kind of rude to hang up on me now, right? It really kind of is, because I just said, thank you so much for taking my call. And we're expressing gratitude. Gratitude is one of the highest forms of communication. So there's a psychology there. It's not just a random thing that we're saying. There's a psychological reason why we're saying it. So again, hey, Jessica, it's Anna calling from the Haro Group, Keller Williams. Hey, thank you so much for taking my call today. I am calling you because I saw your house just came off the market. Do not say expired. Why would we not say expired? I like interaction, so feel free to jump in here with me. Why are we not saying expired?
Negative.
They probably don't even know what that means.
Yeah, what is that? Have you ever been at dinner with a friend of yours who's in a different career and they're using all these terms and you're like, whoa, just wait a minute. What are you talking about? That's why we don't want to say, I saw your home just expired, because to them, what does that mean? So you're going to say, I saw your home just came off the market. Is that correct? And the is that correct is really just to confirm that they are indeed off of the market, because we don't want to engage with someone who is still listed. The next thing you're going to say, and the wording of this is important. Don't tweak it. This works. Just do what works. The next thing you're going to say is actually a question. And you're going to say, we've helped a lot of people in your shoes. And I'm curious, when you listed your home a while back, what made you want to move back then? Now, if you know from your data source, if you can see that, okay, they listed their home 6 months ago, you could say, when you listed your home 6 months ago. I like to word things that prevent me from having to do a lot of research. One place people fail with expireds and for sale by owners, they do enormous amounts of research before they ever dial the phone. And a really good pickup rate for any lead source, meaning you dial and they actually pick up the phone, is 25%. So I want to help you word things so you don't need to do a lot of research to make these calls. So if I say, when you listed your home a while back or a while ago, it's general enough that I don't need to look up all this data. Make sense? It just makes it easy to succeed. And then when you listed your house 6 months ago, what made you want to move? That's the question. Sometimes it will work if you go right for what makes you want to move today, or when are you going to relist? But remember, I started this call and said, sometimes you do something and it works enough that you perceive it's really, really good. And we actually found that conversion went up when we weren't focusing on listing right away. And we instead took them emotionally back to when they listed their home a few months ago. So let me give you some psychology, and then I'm going to give it to you again to make sure you have it written down, and then we'll go through some objections you can commonly get, and then we'll jump into for sale by owner. So when you are using this opener, I want you to picture, and all of us can probably relate to this, but have any of you ever dated someone and then you stopped dating someone? Anybody? Just anybody out there? Probably all of us, right? And when you first stop dating someone, if someone looked at you and said, well, when do you want to get back together with them? Most likely, you're going to be thinking, did you not hear me? I just said I broke up with them. Here's what he did, or here's what she did. What a jerk. I'm not getting back together with them. But if someone asked you, when you started dating them 8 months ago, Why? Like, what attracted you to that person? And they caused you to start saying, well, this nice thing, he's really funny, or she was really sweet, and I love her family, so smart. And they start reiterating the reasons they wanted to 8 months ago. Do you see how now psychologically it's a lot easier to then, once they've reminded themselves, then it's much easier to entertain the idea that maybe we should get back together. Are y'all tracking with me? Are y'all wanting to get back together with someone now? Did I just walk you through an activity? But here's the thing, guys. If you go right into when are you going to relist your house, or what makes you want to move? I just know from experience, a lot of them say, I'm not. I'm so frustrated with real estate agents. And it's like it opens the door for them to vent. But when I just kind of assume that they're pausing for a second and I say, hey, Jessica, it's Anna, calling from the Haro Group, Keller Williams. Thank you so much for taking my call today. I saw your home came off the market, right? Yes. Okay, great. We've helped a lot of people in your shoes. I'm so curious, what made you want to list your house 6 months ago? Now, here's the reality. Some of them will just engage with you. And what I often would hear would be things like, well, we wanted to downsize, but, does this sound familiar? We wanted to do this, but then the market, but then this, but then that. The thing that you've got to remember when you're calling expireds is their home was just listed, right? Like, if they actually didn't want to move, would they have not taken it off the market? So let's go back to the dating analogy here, okay? If I'm disappointed but trying not to be, what do we say? Oh, it's fine because honestly, his mom kind of got on my nerves. He lived too far away. But honestly, a lot of times, sometimes that's true, right? But a lot of times what it is we're actually really disappointed. And what that's called is refraction. That's the term for it. It's called refraction. And it's where you're bending it so that it seems okay. So you just have to know when, a lot of this is your psychology. You have to know when you call expireds, they do want to move. Or they wouldn't have expired off the market. They would be a withdrawn. They want to move. And you have to just kind of see past the, well, we were going to, but, or well, we've changed our minds. And it's almost like no matter what they tell you, unless they say, don't call me, take me off your list, almost pretty much no matter what they tell you, just keep going back to, I totally hear you. I know it might seem that way about the market. I am curious though, when you listed 6 months ago, what made you want to do that? And just keep taking them back to when you did this, why? What made you list your house? That was a lot of work. What made you get it ready to go to market? There was something a while back that made you want to do it, and get them talking about that. In my experience, once they start talking about why they wanted to do something, they are now much more interested in helping re-engage with you about listing their home. Now, in this call, we have 30 minutes to talk about expireds in FSBO. I can't go over every detail of an expired phone call, but my goal here is to get you off the ground on an expired phone call. So here's the transition. I've done the opener. I've said, hey, when you wanted to sell your house 6 months ago, what made you want to do that? And they started to engage with me, and now we're talking. And I'm going to say now, once I have their motivation, I'm going to say something like, hey, listen, here's the thing. We for sure, or I for sure, can sell houses. We do this all the time. I feel very confident we could sell your house. The question would be, can we get what you want for it? You know, I have some questions for you. Why do you think your house didn't sell? And if they say things like, well, we had, 20 showings, but no offers, that is a sign that their home is overpriced. How many of you here are listing agents? So here's the little formula, and you probably know this, but for those that don't, 10 showings, no offers, you are overpriced. 10 showings, no offers, you are overpriced. If you go 2 weeks with no showings, that's another sign you are overpriced. Okay. So when I ask them, why do you think your house didn't sell? Well, I don't know. We had 20 showings, but no offers. I immediately know, well, you're overpriced, right? Some reasons that houses don't sell is a lot of times it's staging. How many of you have gotten a kick out of looking at some MLS photos before? Just in your local MLS, and you're like, what was this? Why is there a picture of a bird? Like a bird, I have one like this. A bird flew in front of the photo when they took it and they put that on the MLS. Like, why would you not delete that? That makes no sense. So here's a true story from our team to help bolster your encouragement. We actually had an expired lead that I interacted with. She was really a piece of work when I first started talking to her, but I understood she's not upset with Anna Krueger. She's upset about the market, right? And so you have to remember, don't take it personally. And she was not happy with me. We kept talking. I got on the phone with her a few times and we finally got a listing appointment. Finally, we ended up listing her house. And get this, guys, this woman had been on the market for 6 months. No offers. The house did not sell. All we did was move the couch. We moved we didn't even stage the place with our own stuff. We took things within our own house and just kind of rearranged it a bit to make the rooms look bigger. And then we had a professional photographer go in where previously their pictures were terrible. We had a professional photographer take pictures. We sold that home after raising the price. We raised the price and we sold that home in 24 hours, 24 hours. So guys, you have to understand there is hope for expireds. We just got to find out, why did it expire and are they reasonable, right? Is this someone that I want to help? Are they expecting $400,000 for their $200,000 house? That might not be someone I want to help or could help. All right. How are we doing with expireds? Do you feel like you know how to get the conversation off the ground? So again, just to recap, and then we'll move into FSBO. Thank you for taking my call. I saw your home came off the market. Is that right? Okay, great. Tell me what made you want to what made you want to sell a few months ago when you listed your home? And then just spend about 3 minutes talking through that process with them. After you've spent about 3 minutes hearing all about why they wanted to move, then you're going to say, you know, we've helped a lot of people in your shoes. And pause. Maybe you're thinking, Anna, I've never helped an expired. That's part of the beauty of being in a brokerage. Someone in your brokerage that you are a team of has sold expireds home before. Okay, so you can say, I'm part of the network, or I have, or we have sold homes before that came off the market and got them listed and sold. So I would love to hear a little bit from you about why you think it didn't sell, so I can evaluate if this is a home I can sell for you. And I find I don't know if I can help you, let me get some detail, works way better than give me your listing, give me your listing, give me your listing. They are so much more receptive to that. And I like to just say, look, I don't want to let you down. I don't want to list your house to have it expire again. I want to know the details. So I have a bunch of questions for you. And this is why we would get together. And then go through the rest of a seller conversation. All right, this is recorded and we are going to send it to all of you. So if you're thinking, slow down, you're going to get it and you can pause it and rewind. You'll get this recording. So let's go ahead and go into for sale by owners, and then I'll tell you where to find some more resources. Sound good? All right, so for sale by owner, here's the rule. Everybody write this down. This is like your charge for being in class today. This free class, this is your cost of admission. You're gonna write down 4 things right now. The 4 things to talk about with every lead, and this is true about expireds too, I just didn't mention it. Every lead, no matter who they are, the 4 things to talk to them about. Number 1, motivation. And it goes in order, by the way. This is the correct order. Number 1 is always motivation. Number 2, once you find out their motivation, and by the way, put down that should take 3 minutes. 3 minutes is on average how long it takes to get their true actual motivation. Downsizing is not motivation. A bigger house is not motivation. You got to know why. So that takes about 3 minutes. So number 1, motivation. Number 2 is pre-qualify, and that's all the logical stuff. So when I say pre-qualify, I mean, are you paying cash or loan? When do you want to move? Who are the decision makers? Tell me about any updates you've done to the house. That's pre-qualify, all of that stuff. The 3rd step, so write this down, the 3rd step is give them a next step. So I might, if I'm talking to Keith, I might say, okay, Keith, your next step is, or our next step is. And then the 4th step is give it a deadline. So Keith, your next step is to see what you owe on your home. By when can you do that and call me back? That would be giving them a step with a deadline, step 3, step 4. So motivation, pre-qual, next step, deadline. Did everybody get that? If that's all you get from this webinar, you'll see improvement in your numbers. So here's the thing. That is true for sale by owners, but do you want to learn from my failure? Because I sure failed hard calling for sale by owners at first. I'd call for sale by owners and I'd be like, hey, Carlos, Anna from the Haro Group. Thanks for taking my call. So you have your house for sale. What makes you want to move? And you know what they do? Why do you need to know that? What, do you have a buyer or do you not? Why do you need to know why I want to move? And you know what? I actually get it. I'd probably think the same thing, if I'm honest. That is right. So here's what I learned. This is where I started seeing 1 out of 3 turn into an appointment, not a preview, an appointment. So Carlos, if it's all right with you, I'm just gonna kind of role play with you here and you're there. So, hey, Carlos, this is Anna from the Haro Group. I saw that you have a house for sale and we have 12 active buyers right now. And I'm curious if your home is a good fit for one of them. Tell me a little bit about your home. And by the way, make sure you're honest. Don't say you have 12 buyers if you don't have any buyers. Maybe find out in your office, go to your brokerage. How many buyers do we all have so that you can be honest when you do these calls? And sometimes they just go right into telling you all about the house. You know what they also do? Can't you look online? I got an ad. That's probably where you found my number. Why? Just look at the ad. Can y'all tell I've called a lot of these people? I've heard it all. So I actually kind of like when they do that because now I can match them a little bit. And here's what I would recommend you say if they're like, just look at the ad. I've got an ad. Hey, Carlos, I see it. And actually there are about 150 homes that fit identical criteria to yours, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So Carlos, if I'm at a coffee shop and I need to convince one of my buyers to buy your house over all the other 150, like what are the selling points of your house if I'm going to help you sell it? And without fail, unless they misheard the question, without fail, they start telling me all of the selling points of their home. So write down under for sale by owner in your notes, write down that the first goal is to get them talking about why their house is so fantastic. That's the first thing. We're still going to go for motivation, and all this is going to come together here in a minute. I've got to get Carlos telling me why he loves his house so that now I can say, Carlos, sounds like a great house. What has you thinking about moving? Why not just stay put? And now for sale by owners, freely talk with me about their motivation. So remember I said a minute ago, everyone write down number 1, motivation, number 2, pre-qual, number 3, next step, number 4, deadline. It's the same thing. And I understand it might not sound like that at first because I'm going for tell me about your house, but do you see the psychology there? I just learned if I went straight for motivation with the FSBO, they were not happy talking to me. So I then said, I have buyers, tell me about your house so I can help sell it for you. What is so great about your house? Then I could say, wow, sounds really great. What makes you want to move? And now I'm actually still in part 1, which is digging for motivation. Now, don't say things you don't mean. So if you don't have buyers, go find out how many buyers your agent friends have. Like, give them real numbers. And the transition I like, once they tell me about their motivation, I like to say, all right, Carlos, here's what I'm going to do. Like I said, we have 12 buyers. I'm going to let them know about your house to see if it's a good fit. Which, pause, would that not be a win if we got one of our buyers under contract? Like, that's a win, even if I don't get Carlos's house as a listing, right? So that is still a win for the team. It's a win for Carlos. It's a win for us. But I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to let our 12 buyers know about this. I have to be honest with you though, Carlos. Most people, when they list their house, earn about 12% more with an agent than without one, which means you would still net more than you could on your own. Would you be open to hearing about that if I could show you that I can get you more money than you can on your own? And that's where you start to turn it into a listing conversation, okay? If it's all right with you guys, I'm gonna talk fast, knowing you are all going to get a recording and can play this back. Is that okay with you? Because I have one more thing I wanna give you, but we're a little short on time. So I'm just gonna talk fast, you'll get the recording. When I say, hey, Carlos, thank you for sharing all that with me, I'm gonna let our team know, let our buyers know, see if it's a good fit. But hey, if I could list your house for you and get you more money, would you be open to it? You usually make 12% more. Usually they're like, well, how can you do that? How does that work? So here's the analogy that you're gonna use. And Carlos, are you actually able to unmute? It's a little easier if someone can interact with me here. I'm totally putting you on the spot. Okay.
Sure.
All right, so Carlos, he just asked me, how can you get me more money than I could on my own? So Carlos, let's just pretend that you and I are going to an auction today. And there are 2 identical auctions across the street from each other. And one of those auctions has 200 people and the other auction has 2 people. Which auction will make more money?
The one with 200.
Okay, you didn't even hesitate to answer me there. What made you say the one with 200?
There's more people there to look at it.
Okay, and you know what they usually do at this point? There's more people there to look at it. Oh, I see what you're doing. And then I like to tease them and say, yeah, you should probably meet with me, right? And we kind of laugh, and then you get the appointment. And I really don't mean to oversimplify it. You still ask them questions about their house and things like that, Carlos, thank you. But here's the key to that analogy is don't tell them, ask them. Which auction would make more? One auction has 200 people, one auction has 3 people. Which one will make more? And unless they tuned out, they always say the one with 200. And if they answer me the one with 2, I re-say my question because I know they didn't hear me. They always say the one with 200. And then don't tell them why, ask them why. Carlos, why did you say the one with 200? And they say, well, there's more people. And now they just answered their own objection. Brilliant, right? And that will help you get appointments. So then I would say, okay, Carlos, let's meet. What do you have to lose, right? You have a house to sell. We have buyers. At a minimum, it's going to help that. At best, we help you list this house and get more money. What do you have to lose? Usually they agree with that. And they'll say, let me ask you some questions. And I pre-qualify the house and then we set up an appointment. And that usually works. Here's a key, get that appointment within 48 hours. If it goes beyond 48 hours, you lose 60% likelihood they will meet with you. It needs to happen within 48 hours. So you're gonna get a recording so you can watch this because I did talk fast. We had 30 minutes to cover 2 key lead sources, but we wanted to give you as much as we could. How many of you feel like you will make more money because of today's webinar? Give me a thumbs up or a yes in the chat box. Like if you think you'll make more money because of this webinar, let me know. So here's what we've got. There's a whole class full of things like this. It's called Mastering Inside Sales. And it is not just for inside sales agents. It is for agents and inside sales agents. In fact, several of you in here are agents and you took the class. Can you vouch with me? It is also for agents. It's called masteringinsidesales.com. Here's the thing. It starts November 2nd. And if you register by tomorrow night at midnight, so in September, you have to register, enter the code WEB15 and you'll get 15% off the program. So let me tell you a little bit about it and then I'm gonna let you go. Go to isamapscoaching.com and we give you 19 language patterns. I just gave you a little bit of one language pattern. That was basically one language pattern. Look at that. 19 language patterns. We give you tracking systems and it's a community of people focused on growing their lead generation, lead conversion skill. That class starts November 2nd. It is 6 months long. It's $199 a month. However, if you register by tomorrow night, the end of September, I can't believe it's the end of September, by midnight and enter the code WEB15, all squished together, capitalized WEB15, you'll get 15% off each month. So not just the first month, but each 6 months, you'll get 15% off. So again, isamapscoaching.com. You'll see a class that says Mastering Inside Sales starting November 2nd. Click on that button. And when you go to register, enter WEB15 and you'll get 15% off. You do not have to be Keller Williams to take it. It will ask you for a Keller Williams ID and you just put none and you can go right past that screen. You do not have to be part of Keller Williams to take that class. So let me show you real quick. And then I can hang on an extra couple seconds here for questions. And then again, all of you will get the recording here. But this is the website, isamapscoaching.com. Enroll today for November 2nd. You click on that button. And then you click on, when it eventually pops up, you click on sign up. If you want to have a little video here that says how it works, you click sign up. And again, do this by tomorrow, Friday at midnight. It expires October 1st, that code. And then you'll just come down here. You'll fill all this out. You'll enter code WEB15, and that's how you get that discount. Here's where you'll put it, WEB15. Okay? All right, hopefully I will see you in class. All right, the class is recorded. It's on Wednesdays. How do I get the sauce for rebuttals? Joshua, it's in class. We teach all this stuff in class. Yeah, and we do record it. We do, because we know some of you are agents, you're out showing houses, writing offers, woohoo. So we record it every week so you can watch the recording. Yep. Okay, any questions about either class or the content from today?
Is one of the rebuttals in class how to address I was a real estate agent previously? Because that's the biggest one I've ran into.
Yeah, we do. We spend 2 weeks going
perfect.
over how to uncover objections. And then if that pops up, we go over how to go over that one. The pattern I give you is this, think of the class more like it's the science of how to talk to people successfully. Perfect. And it can work for any objection. So it will work for that one. It will work for if they say the grass is too green. I don't want to buy that house because it's pink. I mean, the pattern works no matter what they tell you. It really does. Now, I can't say that it will solve it 100% of the time. Yeah. It will help you uncover what they're really saying. And then we talk through how do you craft a response so that it solves whatever they're concerned about.
That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome. I see a question about class time. I have to look at my calendar. I don't remember, but let me look at my calendar. And while I do that, what other questions do we have here? Oh, the website again is isamapscoaching.com, and that will redirect you to the MAPS Coaching website. So isamapscoaching.com, and click on the class that says Mastering Inside Sales. Okay, the class I'm talking about that starts November 2nd, it will be 3:30 to 4:30 Eastern on Wednesdays. So 3:30 to 4:30 Eastern on Wednesdays. Again, it's recorded. So if you miss one, as long as you go back and catch the recording, you'll be fine. It is 18 sessions long, spanning 6 months. So what we do is we meet 3 weeks, take a break. We meet 3 weeks, take a break. And that way, if you miss a week, you're not falling behind so fast. And it also gives you time to get it down before you move on. Angela, I just saw you from New Bern. Good to see you. All right. Oh yeah, if you're in bold, a lot of people are in bold, which is awesome. I'm glad you're there. Again, that's why we record it. That's no problem. All right, best time to make phone calls is usually before lunch. Usually before lunch. Stephanie, is this a continuation of the current class or a new one? Which current class? If you mean Mastering Inside Sales, I always have 2 of them going at a time, if that's what you mean. And then Estella, we're going to message the recording out over email probably in the next 2 days. It takes a little bit to get it and then get it into an email and all that, but you'll get a copy of this recording to the email that you registered with. Everyone will. And I'll remind you of the code for class, and I'll remind you of the website. Jack, it is 6 months, 6 months program. In all, it's 18 webinars, and we do that over the course of 6 months. Word. I haven't heard that forever. I just went back to college. I won't tell you in what year, but word. I haven't heard somebody say that forever. Danielle, yeah, it's $199 a month, unless you register by tomorrow night at midnight and enter the code WEB15. That will take 15% off for you month after month. Thanks, guys. A lot of you are pumping up the class. I appreciate that. It's my favorite thing. Can y'all tell I love teaching webinars? It's my favorite thing. Like, I love what I do for work. I think it's super fun. I love hanging out with real estate agents and helping you make more money. And that's the thing. You have 2 resources, time and money, and the class will help you with both. Like, one of my favorite things is when people message me and say, I have more time with my family because I'm converting leads faster. So I'm not working as much because I have more time. Or maybe they say, I have the same amount of hours I'm working, but I'm making a lot more money and I just paid off debt, or I just bought a house. To me, that's what drives me. Yeah, I'm teaching you how to convert for sale by owners and expireds today, but the passion is coming from, I want you to have more time or money. And this is what will help you do that. Okay, any other questions? Oh, someone likes my fireplace. Thank you. I redid that last year with a friend. Thank you very much. Yeah, your ISA can take the class. You can have 2 people per 1 registration, but you do need to be within the same team. For context, the class used to cost $800 for one person. $800 for one person. And when COVID hit, we dropped the price to $199. And we said, if they're within the same team, we'll let you have 2 people. So it's a huge savings just right there. And then do Web 15, but just remember, you have to register by September 30th, which is tomorrow at midnight. October 1st, that does expire. How do I add my second person? Stephanie, I think you can just put it right into the contract. But if maybe Rodrigo, you can speak up. Guys, I do sales, like I coach sales. You do not want me messing with operations. I think it will let you do it on the contract. If not, just go to fasttrack@kw.com. And I see people saying, where do I register? So hold on, I'm just gonna put the link in the chat box here. All right, here's the link, the direct link to the contract. And I'm just gonna show you right now because I think some of you are filling it out right now. It has all the dates right here. So you can go ahead and put it all in your calendar. There's all the dates. It has the time right here. And then if you are not a KW associate, just click no. If you put yes, you'll put in your name. And then enter the code WEB15 right there. WEB15, WEB15. And that'll give you your 15% off. And it's each of the 6 months, not just the first month. If you're not getting interested in class, you should be concerned, right? Like if you're feeling like, I mean, this is a class that teaches you sales. So if you're thinking like, maybe I should sign up, learn how to do that for your clients. Maybe I should hire Scott. Maybe I should hire Kristen. Like you want your clients to understand why to hire you. Joshua, note takers are money makers. I like that. Can I leave you all with a depressing statistic? I'll fix it before we're gone. I heard somewhere that you only remember 8% of what you hear. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I speak for a living. This is depressing. My life is meaningless. But they do say if you write it down, it jumps up to 30-some%. So it is true. Like if you think that you'll remember, you probably won't. Write it down. And then the key to really remembering it is just studying what you wrote down. You don't have to remember it if you wrote it down, right? Okay. Oh, Jack, do you pay monthly? No, yes, sorry, you do pay monthly. So total, it's just under 1,200. And actually, if you do the discount code, hold on. Let me just put it to you this way. It's with the discount code getting you 15% off. You're gonna pay $1,020-ish. I'm rounding, $1,020 for the program. And a lot of you said you would make more money because of today's webinar, right? Like how many closings would you need to get from this program for it to be worth spending $1,000 or $1,020? And when you think of it that way, I had a client tell me that they were holding 12 additional appointments a month because of the class, not setting, holding, like actually sitting in front of 12 extra people a month because of the class. And that was by month 3. So if you show up and you take notes and you apply yourself, you will massively recoup your $1,000. If you're registering after October 1st, it's $1,200. You'll still make your money back, okay? All right, guys, I do want to respect the time. We're over by 10 minutes, so I want to respect it. Yes, you'll get scripts. And yes, it is for agents and insides. I feel like the class is probably half 50-50. I've polled them a few times. We're on our 10th run. In every class, it's like half agents, half inside sales agents. We have single agents on there. We have agents on teams. All. If you talk to humans and you need to turn them into clients, join. I even had a photographer from my class take the class. Or a photographer from my church take my class. And I was like, well, you can take it, but just know we're talking about real estate. But if you apply the principles to photography, you'll benefit. But just know we're not talking about photography. We're talking about real estate. And about halfway through, she quit coming to class. So I noticed, because she's a friend of mine. So I asked her, I was like, hey, is everything okay? I haven't seen you in class. And she was like, girl, I have so much business because of that class. That's why I haven't been there. I've been out working with clients, but I'm watching the recordings. And she's a photographer. So if you talk to humans and need them to become clients, you'll benefit from the class. But you do have to show up and put in the work. That's the thing. I can teach, But if you're not practicing between classes, it's not going to benefit you as much. You've got to put in the work, but I will bring the content to you. All right. I'm like out of breath trying to fit all that in 30 minutes. Okay. I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks for hanging out with me. Stay safe out there. If you're in the South, don't blow away from the hurricane. Please stay safe. And I will see you guys hopefully in class on November 2nd.